The government of Uganda is shutting down the internet 2 full days before the general election on January 15. But Ugandans, please keep your phones on and record anything the world should know about. When the internet is eventually restored, send it to me, send it to other journalists, and we can report on it. We saw this happen in Tanzania. The government declared a curfew, shut down the internet, and assumed that the world would not know what happened during that election season. But we were still able to report on it because brave Tanzanians recorded atrocities on their phones and shared it with me and other journalists. Good luck. Happy election day.
I have talked to like my 5 friends from Uganda and they have told me the internet is down. There's news I gave back then about internet. The government said they will not shut down the internet, the Ugandan government. But what the news you are getting on our table here in Neo Africa is that internet is down. Okay? Now, when you talk about internet, mobile data is gone. Social media is blocked. Messaging apps is restricted. So independent of communication is silenced, and the timing is not random. It's just near election, just one day to election, just some hours to election. Ugandan government have decided to shut down the internet. If I could be in Uganda, I could say Museveni must go, but I'm not a Ugandan, so I leave that to Ugandans. But this is the separation of communication. It's the separation of freedom. It's the freedom of speech. Because we need to see what is happening in Uganda. Ugandans themselves need to know what is happening in Uganda. Okay? Because Uganda has been ruled for decades by Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. And some Ugandans who are born, raised, had children and grew up under one man's rule. That's not the problem. We are not saying that you are not supposed to be ruled by one man the entire life. Okay? But what we are saying, are you being ruled well? Okay? Do you have freedom? Do you have employments? Let me say one thing. In Africa today, the internet is not just entertainment as they think. The internet is not dancing on TikTok. The internet today is journalism. The internet in Africa is business, is organization, is education, is exposure. It is economic survival. It is political accountability. And for African youths, the internet is the only space not fully controlled by state TV, not fully controlled by colonial era media, not fully controlled by foreign narratives. So why will you shut down the internet? Why would you shut down the internet? Because when you shut down the internet, you are not protecting people, but you are isolating them. Okay? Now, the shutdown is not about elders. It's not about the villages or the elders or the misinformation. But the shutdown is about young Ugandans who want to access the information. The shutdown is about young Ugandans because Uganda is a young country. About 75% are youths and they are depending on this social media. So this shutdown is affecting them fully. Okay? Because young Africans today are politically aware, are digitally connected, are historically informed, are economically frustrated. And this combination terrifies the old systems, and that's why the only thing that the youths have remained with, this digital information, where they can get the live information, what is happening in the country, now they have taken away from them. It is so much painful. As a Pan-African, it's so much painful for me to see what is happening in Uganda, just like it happened in Tanzania. And when the internet came back in Tanzania, we got a lot of news about the deaths of people, blood all over Uganda, all over Tanzania. I hope this is not what they are planning. If you know you are not doing something bad, if you know your government is good, if you know the people loves you, why are you shutting down the internet? Uganda is not alone. Across Africa, internet shutdown happens during protest. It happens during election in some countries, during mass movement, from West Africa to East Africa. So the pattern is very much clear. When power feels threatened, connectivity is cut. Why? Because unity spreads faster online than propaganda does on television. Okay? And the uncomfortable truth is that Africa may have changed flags, but colonial control mentally never left. The same system that once controlled newspapers, the same system that once controlled radios, that once controlled movements, they now control data, they control bandwidth, they control platforms. Internet shutdowns are simply digital colonial tools used by African elites trained by colonial logic. And every government that shuts down the internet uses the same word, misinformation. Oh, they are giving misinformation. Oh, they are circulating fake news. Let me ask you this. If the people were truly misinformed, why not correct the information instead of silencing everyone? Okay? Because the problem isn't lies. The problem is exposure. The internet shows police brutality. The internet shows vote rigging. The internet shows corruption, nepotism, foreign influence, and everything. And that's what they are shutting down. An internet shutdown is not just political repression, but it is economic violence. Think about it. The online business, like the Ubers, they will not operate. The online news, they won't operate. Freelancers, they won't operate. Content creators, they want to upload in Uganda. Mobile banking users, they won't work. Small traders, they won't. Okay? One day without internet in Africa can wipe out weeks of income. And then you want your country to go on, to move on. This is intimidation. And we need to call this out. The youth of Africa, you must call out every intimidation that is happening to another country, because we are all one and we are all united as one African people. And black, to be precise. Okay? Museveni said they don't want foreign interference in their country. But what is happening is interfering by your own. Like, this shutdown is about something bigger. Let me say that. Africans are watching. As a Pan-African, my consciousness is being triggered by this. What's happening in Uganda that's not supposed to be happening in 2026. Just ask yourself this. Why do authorities fear live streams? Because they are doing something bad. They fear camera. Why do they fear camera? They want to live someone on camera? Why do they fear that? Shutting down the internet sends a message that we control the switch. So it's a psychology warfare. Allow me to end this video here by saying we are hoping for the best for Uganda. It's only some hours to the election, and I hope our good Lord of our ancestors will protect our Ugandans, brothers and sisters, in this election. You know, elections in Africa is like a war. It's like, you know, it's a do or die something, especially when a leader don't want to lose power. You know what I mean? Now, just share this video and keep watching and keep sharing. And again, for those who have friends in Uganda, keep checking on them. Until next episode, peace out.